Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Tea Talk with Goodness Usman, your number one real estate talk show in Africa. And that's thanks to every one of you who keep watching every time we upload a new episode. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is a very special. Whoa! Yes, this is our very first episode in the year 2024. So, allow me to wish you once again Happy New Year and to say season greetings to you and yours. It is an exciting year already. Yes, 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 yes. And I cannot wait to keep celebrating all of you one by one because I am sure that you are going to keep winning more and more this year. Not just you and yours. All right, let's get right into today's show. If you have been keeping up since we got back on the show, you will know that we started a segment this new season actually with the panel sections which we attended, which we recorded in sorry, cut and continue. If you have been following us keenly on this new season we're in, which commenced in December. By the way, this is the third episode in the new season. And hey, we had started with the panel sessions, which was held at the fourth Lagos Real Estate Marketplace conference and exhibition. Yes, we attended and we took it upon ourselves to record all that was discussed in each panel session. Now, the very first episode in this season, we discussed the first panel session of the day one, and then the second episode is the second panel session, which is in day one. It was a 2-day event, and today we're going to the third panel session, which was also done in day one of this real estate conference. Now, let me take you guys back to the theme. The theme of the conference is real estate regulation, a panacea for disaster mitigation and recovery in the built industry. For some of you who have been following up, I'm sure you have learned one or two things from the panel sections. You know, I love the fact that we can hear directly from some of these government officials, investors, other stakeholders in the real estate market. So we're going to go straight into today's topic, which was discussed in the panel session, which is, ladies and gentlemen, insurance and risk management as a mitigant and recovery tool. I'll take that again. Insurance and risk management as a mitigant and recovery tool. This is what they're going to be discussing on the panel session you're about to watch. But before you go watch it right away, let me quickly observe our culture on the show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your very first time of coming across the show, we have a culture that we observe here, which is you are to sit, first of all, comfortable and grab a cup of tea, a glass of wine, glass of water, glass of freshly squeezed juice or zobo, whichever one works for you. Ensure that you're holding a glass of something or a cup of something that you can be sipping while you're enjoying the show. Now, while you're also learning and unlearning. So, I'm just going to grab my own cup of tea. For those of you who already know me, I'm a lover of green tea. So here we go. I have my green tea here. So can we sip together? Let's go. Whoa. Ginger in green tea? It just does the magic. So right now we're going to go right into the panel. Please pay very keen attention to what they are discussing on this panel section. So enjoy, and I'll see you after the section.
And I was very glad when the governor in his speech mentioned something about insurance. In the developed world, most of the things we said about real estate in Nigeria, building collapse and all of that, they all happen there. But the point is, they have a lot of structure in place to address a lot of these disasters. And one of such is insurance. The question then is, when it comes to Lagos State and real estate, do we really have anything in place as far as insurance is concerned? Are there rules regarding insurance for builders, for players in the real estate industry? Let me start from Usman.
If he's not an insurance person, how will he know?
Thank you very much. Yeah, there are rules. Developers will need to have certain types and classes of insurance. Buyers will also require certain classes of insurance even before they get certain approvals. For those who build, the contractors that have contractor insurance, the developers also are required to provide performance bonds. All of these are insurance solutions. But you see, the greatest insurance you have is trust. Trust is the greatest insurance you can have in any transaction. And so I think that just takes care of that part of the question.
Okay, so that was the Dr. What to say about it?
All right, thank you very much. And concerning insurance, I think this is the major aspect that is very important that I see government is actually playing low about. I happen to work in an insurance company for 13 years before starting a real estate company. And I know the importance of insurance when it comes to construction of projects and also real estate at large. But so far so good, I have realized that majority of the disasters that we're having when it comes to real estate industry, most of them, when you dig down into some measures that have been put in place, you will realize that insurance have been a part that a lot of developers have not put in place. For instance, when we talk about the contractors all risk insurance, it has a reason why that insurance is important when it comes to construction of a project. And what that means is that when a contractor is embarking on an insurance on a construction project, the contractor also needs to have an insurance that is called contractor all risk to protect everything the contractor is going to be doing on site. And I've seen a lot of developers also always afraid of the fact that if I give a contractor my contract to do, I don't know if this contractor can run away with my money. And I ask myself a question that where do we place advance payment bond, where you advance a certain amount of money to a contractor and the contractor are mandated to provide an advance payment bond. Most of all the project we do, we ensure that even before we give you a dime, before we give you any check for you to move to site, you must provide an advance payment bond in order to protect us. Because all these funds that we're investing into construction projects are all investors' funds. And in terms of builders, liability insurance, all these are some insurance policies that can be put in place to protect any risk or damages that will occur. Look at all these houses that are being demolished or collapsed as we speak. If there are proper insurance in place, what you just need to do is to write a claim
insurance cover
letter
it.
to your insurance company to pay all the damages that have happened. Personally, I have been part of the people that have benefited from insurance when it comes to insurance policies, and I have received a lot of claims when it comes to insurance. I think it is high time government needs to create, I don't know, maybe it's going to be a unit in the government part to ensure that every building that is being erected outside there are having insurance. Because if you look at all these owners of the buildings that have collapsed, that have lost life, all those things can be protected with insurance policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. First and foremost, I'd like to appreciate the Marcella for putting up this stakeholders engagement. It is thoughtful and timely. If you agree with me, the whole world is moving into crisis, and of course, Lagos State is not left behind. However, it's good for me to inform this gathering that the Lagos State government, under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, has provided an environment for all of the emergency managers to be able to recover, to respond, in fact, to carry out all of the 5 areas of disaster management, which of course includes prevention, disaster mitigation, disaster preparedness, disaster response and recovery. So when I saw the theme of this year, the stakeholders engagement, I was elated because it speaks to the problem that we have. It's good that we have a government agency that is taking proactive action in this regard. You know, it's first of its kind. I don't think any other state have such plans. However, speaking to the questions, the Lagos State government has a plan for insurance. Number one, it provides enabling environment for all of the insurance that all the realtors and real estate providers access. Number one. Number two, it's good for me to inform this gathering again that there is a plan that is in offering. A new window of insurance policy is coming on board. In disaster management, that is what we call disaster risk transfer. And of course, insurance tools are tools for resilience across every sector that is susceptible to, of course, disaster. And you agree with me that the beauty sector is one of the sectors that experience disaster. Some time ago, it's almost every now and then we have building collapse. And you can imagine the number of investment that is going on the road. But the government of this administration have not only gone out of the box, but they seek investment in insurance to transfer your risk. So in this case, every natural disaster that happens, because sometimes you might have done all of the regulation and the license, all your papers and everything is okay. Of course, disasters they happen, buildings still falls. You've got your back cover in Lagos State, and I'm happy to share that with you. And I know very soon the LASRA, which is the regulatory body, of course, will be linking up with LASEMA and other agency in that regard. So Lagos State is there for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In my discussion with a lot of real estate practitioners, some of them are very...
Calm down with your hands moving and everything.
They have this apathy about insurance. They believe that insurance, they don't pay claims, they're not there when you need them, and so they feel that insurance is not really helping when it comes to disaster management. What would you like to say about that, Dr.
All right, so thank you very much, sir. Most time, I've seen a lot of my colleagues around me, sometimes when there's a claim for maybe something that has happened or something, and most of them don't consult the professionals when it comes to insurance. Because writing a claim notice alone to an insurance company can make you not to get any claim. And apart from that, when it comes to transacting in the first place, getting an insurance company that will secure your risk for you, you have to put some conditions in place. You have to put some criteria in place by selecting the right insurance company that you know they have capacity to pay claim. One thing about insurance is that insurance is like when you're playing a gamble. It's either you win or you lose. And the majority of the premiums being paid by a lot of people are being classified based on the certain insurance classes that it belongs. So it is the majority of premium paid that take care of one particular risk that has happened. So if you didn't put your insurance policy in an insurance company that you know they have the capacity to pay claim, then it becomes difficult when claim arises, because you cannot determine when claim will occur. The probability that claim will occur tomorrow is not certain. So they themselves don't know if they are going to pay claim tomorrow or next. So while you are giving your policies to any insurance company, be guided on the type of companies that you give your insurance policy to, so that you can prevent claim payments before the risk occur. And that is all.
Thank you very much. Again, listen.
Okay, thank you very much. When you said engineer, I was wondering. I'm going to speak to insurance and risk management generally in real estate. But I'd like to just make a general observation, which is to congratulate Nasura for the theme for this year. That's very critical, because today, globally, real estate transparency is very critical. And if you look at the global index for 2022, there are 6 parameters, 6 drivers of transparency, and regulation is 2 of them. It's also interesting that if you read that report, Nasera was specifically mentioned as one of the organizations doing good things in Nigeria, which is why we now rank 60 out of 90. So I think that in terms of advocacy, it's critical that we ramp up whatever we say there, so that by the time they are doing the ranking for 2023, they know that we have made some more progress, and that will be part of what we are currently doing. Thank you very much. Generally, and I think a lot has been said about insurance, I think the point I need to know is that for real estate, insurance falls into 2 broad categories. We either do property insurance or liability insurance. And the difference between the 2 of them is that for property insurance, the indemnity is in favor of the insured. So if you are the developer or the contractor, if you do property insurance, the indemnity is in your favor. But if you do liability insurance, the indemnity is not in favor of the insured, but in favor of the third party who claim under that policy. And that distinction needs to be noted very clearly. Now, generally about risk in real estate, we always say there are 3 drivers of real estate growth, 3 R's: risk, return, and regulation. The reality of the matter is that risk impacts not just risk itself, it impacts return, it impacts regulation. Because when you have the complexity, for example, of the risks will drive the complexity of the regulation and the environment. There are some things that in Nigeria now we have to make laws about. We don't bother in other countries. For example, land grabbing. Land grabbing became such a major issue that we had to enact a law on land grabbing. As a practitioner in this industry, I think insurance is one of the ways to mitigate your risk. But I think the more pragmatic way is to always have a risk template. Just like I taught in public governance, you need to have a risk template That template helps you, and I always advise that you do your template on a quarterly basis. The risk template, you identify your risks. So typically, there are some major risks that you know in the industry. So there is title risk, there is a market risk, there is finance risk. Identify all those risks. You define your risks, you define the mitigants, and in case those risks crystallize, what are the recovery measures that you need to take? And that's very important for all of us as professionals in the industry. We have to take time out. One of the things I do in my business is I take adequate time out to focus on risk management. Because at the end of the day, when those risks crystallizes, as we are seeing in all these demolitions, and by the way, I agree with my sister on the issue of demolition. Demolition is good for enforcement. After buildings have been built, I think it's better not to allow them to build those buildings.
Exactly.
I think it's much better because every demolition is a loss to the economy. So when we have a proactive compliance mechanism in place that prevents them from building those buildings, I think it's better for all of us. I think at the end of the day, the important thing is that, if we must reduce the risk in the industry, we also need to step up on regulatory enforcement. And part of the challenges today is that people believe that they can get away with anything because we have not made examples of people. So we see building collapses everywhere, every time. Have we prosecuted anybody? So we need to take, and I like the comment that we need to begin to shame developers. I mean, I have a background in UAC, so you can imagine, I did 25 years in UAC, and about procedure, and about compliance, and about everything. There are people who believe that they can get away with everybody. And I've been listening to everybody castigating developers. You'll be surprised that it's a small percentage of developers who are there. There are a lot of developers in this industry who do the right thing.
Yes, so.
Do the right thing, go for approvals. I know that there are people who believe that I buy my land, I do due diligence, I do my permitting approval with Lagos State Fiscal Planning Authority. Before I proceed to site, I go to LAFSCA to get permission to do this. I go to Safety Commission as the law has prescribed. And I think that ultimately, any developer, any builder who follows all the things that one of the benefits you find in Lagos, you don't find in all the other states, is that the building code has been largely codified in Lagos State. If you look at the ban regulations 2019, in Lagos State, they're operating the LAFSCA and LASFA. All those regulations that are there. There is no way you will follow those regulations to the letter and you will run into problems as you speak. So, one mitigant against those risks is to ensure regulatory compliance so that you don't run into problems in the long run. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hello, Sarah, for putting this together. Insurance is very, very important, and but I would like to advise the Lagos State government to see how to review the laws governing land transactions in Lagos State. They need to look into that laws and update the laws so that it can accommodate the current trend and what's needed to be done, because information is very, very important. And like it has been said, every project must be insured. Pre-development, during development, post-development must be insured. It shouldn't be a case that the project is on and after collapse, there wouldn't be no compensation to builders. And, so insurance must be part of documents that will be submitted for approval.
Just like
Must be there, and compliance is very, very important. And in the area of compliance, when there is, you know that there is consequences for anything done, you surely sit up and then do the right thing. when a project or a property development has gone a little bit collapsed, nothing is done, and everybody just feel that, okay, I can come up with any project, but there should be consequences. It's very, very important. There should be, everybody should be whipped to line. Government has got the architecture to bring everybody to line. In the Western world, you can't build without having your project insured. Even your land must be insured. You must have your name in the homeowner association, and also everything must be well insured. Also, I'd like Laseria to look into the real estate value chain. All the players in the value chain must be registered with Laseria. Even for you to be a property lawyer, that should be, must be accredited for you to practice, to sign documents. You should be able to look into that. And also engineers, like somebody said earlier that contractors must be separated from the developers, builders. All the builders, like in the value chain, all the carpenters, everybody must be well registered. And also training. There must be adequate training for all the players, including the realtors, the developers, the contractors. If you have, if they are well trained, they'll be able to understand the industry very well, and it will move the industry forward. Because this is such an industry that is robust. It's so huge, and it's so big that talk about employment. We cannot joke with it. It's providing jobs, and we have to be very, very careful. And most of the funds coming in, these are funds from the diaspora, FDI bringing in and helping the economy. So, and when it comes to this, today there is a collapse, tomorrow we have demolition. Nigerians in diaspora just want to invest, will be scared in bringing in funds into the economy. So, I want the laws to be reviewed and make sure that implementation, Laseria must seek to implement. Your job now is talk with the Lagos State House of Assembly and look at the laws governing the real estate industry and seek how to review it and also implement. Set a department, let there be task force. There must not be any development without approval. Work with the Ministry of Physical Planning, and like somebody said, all the boxes must be ticked before any developer moves to site. Like after getting all your papers, your building plan approval, your permit from LASPA, your this and that, we should all be informed about, okay, there is a drainage permit, like somebody told me that I'm just getting that for the very first time. So there should be a drainage permit. All this must be well communicated to the developers. Advocacy, communication, information. Your website must be so friendly that anybody coming into the industry should be able to go in there and see the licensed and registered developers to do business with. Without being licensed, you can't do business with it. These are the list of lawyers accredited in Lagos State. These are the list of contractors accredited in Lagos State. Insurance. These are the list of insurance companies that will pay claims. Just like my friend talked about some insurance companies that cannot pay claims. You should be able to see, manage everybody in the value chain, which is very, very important. So I would like to, lastly, to encourage that, make sure that a department is in place for implementation and for everybody to follow, the regulations that have been set in place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So,
because I believe in less than 1 month now, we've attended about 2 programs coming from this same, government office. So, I want to encourage you, man, to continue to do this. because I'm sure when there's more conversation about real estate, there will be a lot of solutions and ideas that will be shared. And also to some of my colleagues in the real estate development sector, I also want to encourage that we do the right thing at the right time so that at every point in time we can be protected at all this.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think we've spoken about PPP today. I'm always an opposer of many collaborations, so I think that creating the right framework for the private sector to work with Lasera in terms of knowledge sharing, information sharing, intellectual capital sharing, I think will really go a long way in enhancing your work. And even amongst we, the participants in the industry, I think we also need to do a lot more collaboration, because by so doing, we're going to align our strengths and deliver greater value for the benefit of the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, this tool is in our database in Greater Lagos. There are over 2,000 developers in Lagos, and that is huge. I want to employ the leadership of Nigeria to see how to drag everybody into your net and make sure that information are being passed. And, advocacy is constant communication and training for anybody coming into the industry or players in the industry. And with this, we are going to have a better society to live in.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to just give a piece of advice. Probably as a matter of policy, Masera should please see themselves as a coordinating agency when it comes to safety in the built environment. Number one. Number two, I want them to look critically at potential risk that is involved in the estate. Number three, to develop a
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope you have learned one or two things from that panel section. As you have seen for yourself, that was a very rich panel section. So I'm loving the direction of this conversation, every bit of it, because like I've said before in one of the previous episodes, that the more we keep having this kind of conversation, this kind of platform, the better the industry as a whole is going to get. So like we have promised, that we're going to upload all of the panel sessions so for you guys to have access to it, and of course importantly learn and unlearn, and then be carried along as to the plan of Lagos State government for the industry as a whole, because like they said, it is already a built up industry. And one interesting thing about real estate is that it is one of the major industry that does help to contribute to the growth of our economy. In fact, economies all over the world, nations all over the world. And that's why I always say that if you don't own real estate, I really do not know what you're owning. Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's episode. This is a new season, like I said, and then this is episode 3. Now, for the day 2, we have the day 2, and on the day 2, they have panel sessions as well. So we're going to be having those panel sessions in subsequent episodes to come. Hopefully, we're going to be able to exhaust it in this January, and then we'll pick up on normal regular conversations in the new year. So this is what we do, and we're back in it. If you have any topic whatsoever you want us to discuss on the show, or you want me to bring a guest over to have this conversation around it or to address it, you should put it in the comment section right there. And I promise you, and you guys know me, I always keep to my promise, even though sometimes it's difficult to do so, but my word is my bond. So I promise you, we're going to get right into it as we take it step by step. If you're not okay putting it out here, you can communicate with us by WhatsApp. My numbers are scrolling on the screen right now, and the two WhatsApp are directly my own direct hotline, by the way. Hey, if you're calling me on direct calls and you don't get me because of this Nigerian network thing, please reach me by WhatsApp. I'm always available on WhatsApp 24/7. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Goodness Usman. I am the queen of landlord makers and your beautiful host for today. Yes, 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 yes. I'm very excited about this year, 2024, because like I said, he has a lot of good things in stock for all of us, not just myself, but you and yours. So please enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a glorious, fabulous, productive, and prosperous, fruitful new week. So I say to you guys, until when I come your way on the next episode or in my next video, ensure that you remain safe and awesome just the way you are. So I say to you, oh, double.